Welcome everyone. Dr. Stephen Hobbs here from the International Mentoring Community. And this is a video of celebration with Doug Lawrence and a group of his supporters, those who know Doug in some capacity along the way over the years. And I talked Doug into this celebration video, just to let you know. So that we could have a record for him, for his own portfolio, but more so as Doug is the co-founder of the International Mentoring Community, to have a record of this so that we can share it with others over time. Just as a point of reference, I am the Director of Certification for IMC. Doug is the Director of Education for IMC. And I think we're into our third year now, aren't we, Doug? Almost going to start a fourth year here soon.
Yep.
So it's wonderful to have this. And I know at least one other person on this call has a certificate from the International Mentoring Community, and I'll leave that to that person to share. Oh, she shared. So that's wonderful. So thank you for that. So again, the agenda, I'll just pull up the certifications and just share them with you. Then we'll have Doug share his thoughts about the journey, and then I open it up to questions and comments from yourselves. And so I am just going to bring up the certifications now. So I'd like just to acknowledge that we have the Certificate of Competence. This is the Recertification certificate from the International Mentoring Community. So Doug had completed the Certificate of Competence 2 years ago and was able to bring the recertification to close as well, which is wonderful. And so that's what that one looks like. And we have the Certificate of Competence Journey Mentor from the International Mentoring Community. So this is the very first one that has been issued. And I had wanted to put number 1 on this, but Doug and I had a conversation. We thought, no, it's sort of like going to camp and, you know, we are table number 1. I don't know if you've ever been to camp, all right? And so we decided not to go down that road at this point in time. So I'm going to ask you, Doug, from your perspective, what was the journey like? You did the recert and then you did the Certificate of Journey Mentor, and maybe in there just share a little bit about what each one's about. That would be helpful from someone who went through both. So over to you, Doug.
I can certainly do that. First off, though, I'd like to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for taking the time. I know how busy we all are, and I truly appreciate you showing up today and being part of this celebration. It has been a journey, to say the least. As Stephen had mentioned, I had gone through the Certificate of Competence Mentor 2 years ago and had to recertify. And for me, it was basically a repeat of what I'd gone through with the original certification. But what it did was it really helped me get prepared for the Certificate of Competence Journey Mentor certification, because that one was just that much more more involved. So there was, the two are the Certificate of Competence Mentors nested within the Journey Mentor one. So it's a prerequisite that you need to go through. So I did need to be able to get recertified. And so there was case studies, reflective pieces of work that you had to do in order to be able to do that. And then with the Journey Mentor, actually, I'll go back to the Certificate of Competence Mentor. I believe there was 3 case studies that I had to work on in order to go through and prepare the documentation and stuff. So 3 case studies. What changed for me was when I went to the Journey Mentor one, it was now 1 case study, but it was, the best way to describe it was a humdinger of a case study to have to go through. And I'm going to just leave it at that, because I don't want to spoil anyone else's fun in going through that certification process. But I did, part of my portfolio that I submitted was a video that spoke to the mission, vision, purpose, and values of mentoring. Obviously, we had to do the mentoring log, the self-assessment, two or three reflective pieces, a personal learning plan, and then as well the case study, which, like I said, was really truly something I won't forget for a long period of time. So it was what I've found, and what I'm seeing taking place now because of having the Journey Mentor certification. Just since Sunday, I've had two individuals come forward to seek help because they're struggling with mental health issues and those. And I don't, I know that I wouldn't be comfortable enough to be able to help them before this, where now my comfort level, my confidence is at a pretty high level, so that I'm able to, to be able to help these individuals work their way through. As an example, yesterday, I met with an individual that's dealing with bipolar. And so we went through and talked a lot about that. And what's interesting is a lot of the stuff that I talk about, as far as, to work in the mental health space, you have to listen and hear, you have to be an active listener. And sometimes you have to know when to zip it and just listen. Yesterday was a good example of that. Was we met and I could tell right away that here was an individual that just needed to talk. And my role as the mentor was to just listen. And so that's some of the things that we take away from the Certificate of Competence Journey Mentor. So I'm just going to throw it open to questions, and if anybody has any, I'm more than willing to answer them.
I think more than a question, just a huge congratulations for the amount of dedication that you've put through this, not only through the years in building relationships with the people that are on the call here, but with the relationship that you have built with yourself, moving through this entire process and being able to stick through it during a really hard time. So huge congratulations. Super, super happy to see all of this coming to fruition for you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
I'd like to add my congratulations as well. And I do have a question, Doug, which is, what would you say has been the biggest shift? Like, how would you describe the internalization of that change and how it's shown up in the work that you do?
I think and if this doesn't get to the point that you're looking for, let me know. But I think what I'm starting to see is that the shift that's taking place is that there's an appreciation or an understanding of the level of trust that is there for people to reach out. Like these two individuals that I was speaking about, prior to, if I were to think back 6 months, I probably wouldn't have had the contact with them that I have, because they've been part of the story as well. Is, this is what I'm going through to better prepare myself to be able to help you. And so therefore, we need to get to a certain level of trust to be able to do that. And what I'm seeing is that the trust level, the environment that we're creating is one that is a lot more trusting. And so when people reach out, they reach out for a specific, there's that specific reason. And so, like, I know that the one that I met with on Sunday wants to change careers again, but has is harboring some issues as he was growing up that are precluding him from being able to move forward. So there's a lot of self-confidence, self-doubt issues and stuff like that. And then yesterday's conversation was definitely mental health related, because it was somebody that was, just been recently diagnosed with bipolar and has, had some issues before that as well. But felt comfortable to be able to come forward and have the conversation. And I think, the shift that's taken place is I have a deeper understanding of what that looks like now. And I'm in a better place to be able to deliver a deeper, richer mentoring experience than what I was pre-certification. to me, that's probably been my confidence level is at an all-time high, and I know I can make a difference, and I have made a difference. But I also know that there's a lot more ahead.
Actually, that was my question, but you just answered it, Doug, is what I sensed in your speaking, that you're feeling so much more confident and self-assured in what you're able to provide. And I'm sensing that that's one of the greatest gifts that this has brought you.
And it's opened it's actually opened some other doors for me, because I'm now doing, actually, this week it is the 11th podcast that I've been a guest on, and I'm telling my story. And, some of them I've had to kind of bare my soul in some of them. Like the one that seems to stand out for those of you that are interested is one that's hosted by the Naked Podcaster. That's her handle and stuff. And she actually had me in tears because I shared some very personal information. I shared the fact that Deborah had passed, and I was trying to not want to go there, but ended up going, what the heck, let's go for it, and we'll see where it goes. But I think all of those things, Linda, you're absolutely right. All of those things have had an impact or an influence on sort of my psyche and I guess my confidence level overall.
It's wonderful.
Congratulations, Doug. This is what a wonderful new plateau, new mountain, new peak that you've reached here with this newest certificate. It's further solidifying all of the things that we know and love and appreciate, I think, about you. What over this latest chapter of your journey have you discovered about yourself that's been a surprising discovery?
Wow. I think, I think doing the research for the foundation, the basis for the Journey Mentor certification and how it could be linked to mental health, actually uncovered the fact that I had experienced post-traumatic stress, and I had no clue until I started down this path, this journey, that I just one day it was all of a sudden, holy crow, that's me. I've been there, I've experienced that, and I didn't deal with it very well. I turned to alcohol. I became that class A jerk that nobody should ever have to live with, and yet, they did. So it's, it's given me a deeper understanding of me as a person. And when I put my mind to something that I believe in, that, there are great things that we can accomplish, not just me, but, anybody on this call can, can take a look at my lived experience and sort of see themselves in that lived experience and say that, that was me, and I'm going to learn from, from his lessons and help make the world a better place. And so I think for me, it was, I just discovered so much more about myself that I didn't really know.
One other comment, if I may. This obviously is an extraordinary achievement for you, Doug. But it's also being the first to come through as Journey Mentor. I think it exemplifies an extraordinary goal for so many others to aspire to reach out and up to. And I commend you for being the first. There couldn't be a more extraordinary exemplar of true heartfelt mentoring. And I congratulate you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, well, I think we find ourselves moving towards a close here. And I would just like to add my congratulations, Doug. And if most of you didn't know it, I'm the one who prepared the dingers and wazoos and the oh my goodnesses and all the other kind of stuff. So it was a joy to work with you on this, and it's going to be even better, I believe, as we take the international mentoring community out for a world spin and see what pathways and roads we can travel to see what happens here. So with that, I would just ask us to maybe all open up and just very quickly say thanks again to Doug and appreciate where he's going. And once that's done, I will close off the video. Morgan, any last things to share with Doug?
Yeah, can't wait to see what the next chapter holds. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Linda?
Again, you have set a new bar.
Yeah.
And not only by what you've achieved, but by the person you are. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yvonne?
Doug, sincere congratulations, thanks. And selfishly, I know I will be one of the benefactors of your continued learning journey. So for that, I am truly grateful and blessed.
Thank you.
Desiree?
Thank you for holding space and for the future space that you're going to hold for other people, and that is going to make a difference.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
So with that, I wish you all the best for the rest of your day. And we'll see you somewhere along this pathway with the international mentoring community. And to Doug, take care.
Okay, thank you.